Hello there you guys, welcome to another one of my live videos, and today this is just going to be a live match reaction for the big game coming up this weekend. There's a lot of games this weekend, but I'm going to be discussing a little bit with you today about the London derby between Chelsea and Arsenal at Stamford Bridge. We're just going to be having a few discussions about this. Obviously, we know it's going to be Morata versus Lacazette, which is very, very good. Two very, very good players, and Lacazette's been impressive so far this season. Morata's been very, very impressive so far this season for Chelsea, but it's going to be a very, very entertaining game of football. We know Arsenal, I think, are without Cazorla. Arsenal are out without Cazorla and Coquelin as well. For Chelsea, I think they're expected maybe Danny Drinkwater may be available in the starting team after he's just suffered from a calf problem or something like that. But we know with Chelsea's record, with Arsenal's record against the big teams in several years has been absolutely woeful. The 8-2 with Man U, the 6-3 with City, the 4-0 with Liverpool this season, the 5-1 with Liverpool before. So Arsenal in several years have not had a good record against the big teams whatsoever. And this is going to be a very, very difficult game for Arsenal, providing that they haven't had a really fantastic start to the season. They suffered a bad defeat from Liverpool. They did regain it back by beating Bournemouth comfortably 3-0. But yes, obviously we know Chelsea have had the better start. But from Arsenal's perspective, difference between Chelsea and Arsenal, Chelsea invested a lot of money in the window. Arsenal generated a lot of money. They sanctioned quite a few of the players off. The lucky Sanchez didn't go, but he could still go in January. So Arsenal raised a lot of money. Chelsea spent quite a bit of money as well. So Arsenal still areas where they need to strengthen up. And funnily enough, Arsenal have not beaten Chelsea at Stamford Bridge since 2011, when I think Arsenal beat Chelsea 5-3. I think that day Robin van Persie had got an hat-trick that day, and Arsenal have not beaten Chelsea since then. We're under Jose Mourinho anyway. Now we've got him. Chelsea at Stamford Bridge were especially like a fortress. When Jose Mourinho were there, and we went about 9 years. Even Manchester United even went once 9 years without winning at Stamford Bridge. So you could just prove it is a very, very tough place to go. We know Burnley got a result there at the start of the season, because Chelsea did have two men sent off in the game. Don't put me wrong, Burnley did deserve to win the game. I think Burnley, have been in good form this season. Chris Wood's doing sublime for the Burnley so far this season. But I think since the Burnley game, Chelsea have performed fantastically well. Morata's scoring. Bakayoko scoring the other night in the 6-0 game against Quarkbag. And Chelsea is scoring goals from a very, very good, energetic, organised attacking team. As they proved last season, winning the Premier League last season. They've got Conte, a high experienced manager. Obviously, Arsenal, obviously are playing in the Europa League tonight. Can't remember who it is, but Wenger will need to spend some money in the transfer window to replace the departures that Arsenal have sanctioned off. First time, they haven't had Champions League football in 2 decades is Arsenal, so this would be very, very disappointing for Arsene Wenger. He's been at the club now for over, I think it's over 2 decades. He has won quite a few honours with Arsenal. Went years without winning some, but obviously they are the holders, the record holders of the FA Cup at the moment. So anyway, but recently, Arsenal had beaten Chelsea in the Community Shield on penalties. I think it ended 1-1. And in the FA Cup final last season, Arsenal did beat Chelsea as well. And I think they beat them 3-0 at the Emirates Stadium last season. But I think Arsenal lost 3-1 at the Stamford Bridge last season. So for me, I'm going to go with a Chelsea win anyway, because Chelsea are in a great form. But these are some of the statistics. Arsenal have only won 4 of their previous 16. After winning just 4 of their previous 16, Chelsea have won their last 5 home Premier League games against Arsenal since a 5-3 defeat in October 2011. So Arsenal have not beaten Chelsea at Stamford Bridge since 2011. So Chelsea have been unbeaten against Arsenal at home for 6 years, or is it 7 years now? The Gunners haven't kept a Premier League clean sheet at Stamford Bridge in their last 12 visits here. They're shipping at least twice in each of the last 8. Arsenal have lost their last 5 away Premier League games versus Chelsea. Their joint longest way losing in the competition against a single opponent. Also 5 in a row against Manchester United between 2009 and 2013. The Gunners have lost 6 consecutive away league games versus single teams since a 7-game run versus Liverpool at Anfield between 1981 and 1988. Should Arsenal concede, it will equal their longest run of away games without a clean sheet against a specific opponent in the Premier League history. 13 against Liverpool between 1999 and 2012. Arsenal have won 2 of their last 4 games against Chelsea in all competitions. So recently, Arsenal haven't had a bad record over Chelsea, but you take it in several years, Chelsea have been very, very good against Arsenal. So Chelsea, as many as their previous 12 combined, Chelsea scored in 23 successive Premier League games at Stamford Bridge, with over half of these seeing them scoring 3 or more goals. And funny enough as well, in the last 2 games, I think Chelsea have had a player dismissed against Arsenal as well. I think was the one in the Community Shield. I think there was one in the FA Cup final as well. I think that was Moses and someone else. It was in the Community Shield. Um, so yeah, Arsenal last won a Premier League away game against a side that finished in the top 6 last season back in January 2015, 2-0 at Manchester City. They've since lost 8 and drawn 5 of their 13 matches on the road against these clubs. And, Morata's on form as well, so Arsenal are going to have to watch the pace of Morata, a very good player. Morata scored 3 goals and assisted 2 already in the Premier League career so far. All have come via his head. Eden Hazard has scored 3 of his last 4 Premier League games against Arsenal at Stamford Bridge. And this is Arsene Wenger's 59th match against Chelsea with Arsenal, making them the club he's faced the most in his time in North London. So that is some of the stats to update you. With Chelsea are going to be the favourites, considering, they beat Tottenham 2-1 at Wembley. They beat Everton 2-0. They beat Leicester last time out 2-1. And they won midweek 6-0 against Quarberg. And Chelsea are in much better form than Arsenal. Looking at Arsenal form, the lucky Sanchez didn't go. And, with Arsenal, they lost to Liverpool 4-0. Also lost to Stoke 1-0. Did beat Leicester 4-3. Beat Bournemouth 3-0. And they do currently participate in their game tonight against Colin or something like that in the Europa League. So, we'll see what happens about that. So, basically, let's have a look at the previous meetings really between the two sides. It's going to be a very entertaining game of football. It's big match action. Chelsea have had 10 wins overall. Arsenal have had 6, and there's been 5 draws in the contest as well in the situation. So it's going to be a very interesting game of football. I think Chelsea are a better team than Arsenal. Historically, I think Arsenal have won more trophies than Chelsea, but Chelsea have been more dominant than Arsenal for the last 6-7 years now, I've got to say, at least. And Chelsea just got a quality team. When you've got the likes of Hazard, when you've got the likes of Bakayoko who's in there now, when you've got the likes of Rodrigo, when you've got the likes of Morata, and you've got the likes of Danny Drinkwater that could be available. Arsenal, they're going to find it very, very difficult, to break Chelsea down. And Chelsea did once beat them 6-0 as well. So that's going to be a very, very entertaining game of football. As I did say, with Arsenal, as I did mention earlier, they've obviously seen players go in the August window. They've seen, did Gibbs go? Gabriel went. Quite a few players did go, and they were lucky Sanchez didn't go. But obviously, Arsene Wenger said if he couldn't find a replacement, well, they were going to keep Sanchez anyway, because Arsene Wenger had been ruthless over Sanchez. And, he just quoted out Sanchez, that he wanted Champions League football. Sanchez quoted out he wanted Champions League football in the August window. Bayern Munich had had their interest. PSG, who invested a lot of money in the window, had been very, very interested in the player. And they're a good team now. They should be one of the favourites at Champions League, even though they've never won it. They've got Mbappe scoring goals, very young, high prospect. They've got Neymar who's scoring goals, so. And PSG were interested in him as well, because he'd visited Paris Saint-Germain a few times. And then basically City, Pep Guardiola has been keen on reuniting with Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola has been keen on reuniting with Sanchez after they were fantastic together at Barcelona. He risen up the ranks, Sanchez, with underneath. Arsenal had paid £35 million for him back in 2014. It did say we prepared to have more discussions when Sanchez returned back off international duty. Him and Arsene Wenger were prepared to have more discussions. And Wenger, he did say he was prepared to take a financial risk, letting him go free next summer and see out his current deal. But we know City had been in discussions. City had put a 50 million bid in. It had been turned down for Sanchez. In the process of it, a 60 million bid had been accepted, but and that seemed to soften Arsenal's stance. It only would have softened Arsenal's stance if they could have found that adequate replacement for Alexis Sanchez, and that's what he's saying. He's won 3 FA Cups in 4 seasons as Alexis Sanchez here with the club. His versatility is very, very good. He scored 24 goals last season, I think so far this season, I think he's participated in 1 or is it 2 games so far this season as Alexis Sanchez. So he's a very, very quality player, and I don't blame Arsenal. You know, if they can't find if they couldn't find a replacement for Sanchez, then they basically have to keep him. And then, but City could now, Arsenal may have lost out because they could have got 50, 60 million, and now instead he could go in January for just £20 million. But Arsenal will stand firm unless they do get that replacement, as they did try doing. Their agreement was, you know, if they'd got Sterling, Arsenal, I think Arsenal are still keen on Raheem Sterling. It got on, you know, City prepared to offer money plus Sanchez to City. City offer money plus City offer money plus Raheem Sterling to Arsenal, and Arsenal pay a make weight fee for Sterling. Where's my words up there? So what it was is City were prepared to offer money and Sterling as part of a deal so they can get Sanchez. So what it was is Arsenal were presumably going to be paying a make-way fee to get Sterling, and City were actually prepared to offer money and Sterling for Sanchez, and Arsenal were going to pay a make-way fee for Raheem Sterling. But that come to a conclusion as a City resistance over Raheem Sterling, who's had a very, very impressive start to Manchester City's season. You know, I think this is in the process now. His 5th season. He's an attacking mid. He's a winger, so he's another very good versatile player. City paid £49 million for him back in 2015. I think that's the most expensive signing for an English player. I think he was at Liverpool, was he, for quite a few years. I think he made nearly a century of appearances for Liverpool. He might have done, I'm not sure. And for City, he has now merely made a century of appearances as well as Raheem Sterling. Yeah, he's had a very, very impressive start to the season. We know Arsenal still want Thomas Lemar. I do think they will revive their interest in January. Some reports say Manchester United were interested in Thomas Lemar as well. I've already explained the situation. You know, Arsenal were heavily linked to him in the August window, but in the process come to a conclusion. Arsenal had 2 bids rejected in the process, didn't meet Monaco's valuation. Monaco have raised a lot of money in this transfer window anyway. They've raised a lot of money of Monaco in this transfer window, and as I did say with Lemar, I think he did want to make the move to the Emirates, and then Arsene Wenger classified it as dead, and then basically then all you could basically then say is Liverpool had come in. Liverpool had come in with 2 record fee bids for Lemar. Some reports were suggesting he was keen on the move to Liverpool. I think Liverpool had held discussions with Monaco, but in the process, Monaco had turned 2 bids down for Thomas Lemar. It was a 55, a 66, and Liverpool were on the verge of putting a £70-odd million deal in, which is a lot of money for a young player like that. You know, he can play in the middle, he can play on the left. He has got a 3-year deal as Lemar with Monaco, so I presume he may make the move in January. Thomas Lemar, good young age prospect though, and also very, very good for France is Lemar. I do really, really like him. But in the process, Liverpool had 3 bids rejected, and then Arsenal come with a £92 million bid, got accepted. But reports were suggesting he didn't want to make the move to Arsenal. But Arsene Wenger had anyway totally dispelled the myth anyway. He had dispelled the myth at Arsene Wenger and basically said he did not turn down Monaco. He just decided to stay at Monaco, did Thomas Lemar. So Arsenal will still go for him. And it did presumably say that Arsenal had agreed a deal in principle of £250,000 a week and agreed a 5-year deal with him, and it was £92 million. This is what it said a couple of weeks ago, actually. This was after actually the transfer window had shut. So I don't really know, guys. And I did update you earlier on about Mesut Ozil, as I did say. Apparently, reports were suggesting about that. They haven't been in any discussions of Arsenal or Ozil have been in any discussions of signing him in a new deal with a club. Apparently, what the reports were stemming that apparently there hasn't been any discussions since February. No discussions have materialised since February of signing him a new deal. And actually, the German press had actually suggested out that apparently it could be interested in making the move to Manchester United. Could Mesut Ozil, because we know towards the end of the window, Barcelona were very, very interested in him because they were struggling to get Coutinho. Barcelona were also interested. Also, I think Borussia Dortmund had showed a slight interest in Mesut Ozil. You know, has been at Arsenal now for 4 years, and he's won. I think is it 3 FA Cups in 4 seasons, just like Alexis Sanchez. Similarity what he's won. He is an attacking midfielder. He's a good technical player. He's strong. He's quick. He's good in the air. He's good at going forward. His passing ability is fantastic. Very, very good. And you know, this is basically what had been reported out. And apparently, it did say Jose Mourinho will prepare to have discussions regarding the player because he does become 3 next summer. Does Mesut Ozil? But I think Arsenal is still convinced he will sign a new deal with Arsenal. Mesut Ozil. We know Mesut Ozil. You know he'd been in Bundesliga for 5 years. And then he went to Real Madrid for 3 years, and he was working with Mourinho. Then was Mesut Ozil. 2013, I think he won a La Liga, a couple of Ligas. What was it, Ozil, and a Copa del Rey with Real Madrid. And then Arsenal paid a record fee for £45 million, which was a record fee, the highest fee for the German player. And this had what had been reported. And Mesut Ozil, as I did say, since his rival in England, he's created more chances and provided more assists than any other player in the Premier League as well. But his form and record against the top teams is pretty poor. Is Mesut Ozil. Regarding Chelsea, Ozil against Chelsea, you know, he did score, I think, in that game when they beat him 3-0. But he's only scored 5 goals against Chelsea. He's provided 8 assists against Chelsea in 31 in over 3 century appearances. So that is not a very good, guys. That is not very good. But he is coming to an end of his contract. I do not really know. So he's another player that could go from Arsenal in January. Sanchez could go in January. So Arsenal lost 2 players there, and they will have to find replacements because they've raised enough money to get them replacements. That's the thing. They raised enough to get them replacements, but they're going to have plans in January. You know, they've got a good signing, Lacazette, who is a very good player as well for Arsenal. So yeah, Chelsea. I think Chelsea are going to win this game definitely. I'm going to go with 3-1 Chelsea. I just fancy Chelsea. You know, Community Shield. You know, Arsenal won. You know, Arsenal won the FA Cup final, but it doesn't really mean much. You know, Stamford Bridge like a fortress as it has been under. It was under Jose Mourinho, and Arsenal just have a poor record at Stamford Bridge. So I just don't fancy it to happen. I fancy Chelsea very comfortably, guys, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. But we'll see. And we know Liverpool, you know, they've I can't remember who they got this weekend. One thing I'm concerned about is Paul Pogba's injury. I'm very concerned because he was very instrumental last season. We did pay a record fee from 89 million last summer, but he's just proven a point. He's been very good. He's very good in that midfield. He's our advanced midfielder, but there's still players up there that can step up in his position and do very well, as I did insist. But it's not too bad because we suffered from these injuries last season, didn't we, guys? We did suffer from these injuries last season, and you know. You've got, you know, and this is the Kane, you know, Kane now, you know, hitting form, scoring his 100th goal against Everton, and, you know, scoring 2 last night against Dortmund. And Tottenham have got such a good attack, you know, you've got Kane there, you've got Son there, you've even got Dele Alli in the team. Just got a fantastic young, experienced team of Tottenham, and they're very consistent, as he has been for the last couple of years. Would you say Kane's one of the best strikers in the world? This is according to Pochettino, what he's clarified. Do you think Kane, you know, he's won the Golden Boot for the last couple of years? You know, he's a good player, really strong. You know, and he can even deliver. He can produce assists rather than score goals. So he's just a fantastic player. He's Harry Kane. What a player! What a player Harry Kane is for Tottenham Hotspur. What we're doing every single game on talks about, we just do the big games, don't we? We're doing my own team. Yes, you could say Kane's one of the best strikers in the world, but I could say Ronaldo's the best footballer in the world. That's my opinion. You could say Ronaldo's the best footballer in the world. That's all I can say on the subject, which it currently is. But Chelsea Arsenal are going to be a very interesting game. I did say yes, it is Sunday. I think it is a 1:30 kick-off, and then it is Manchester United versus Everton after that. So Arsenal haven't got a good record. They haven't got a good record against the top teams, especially. So we'll see what happens. So you guys keep your eyes out for the game. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update today. Drop your comments, likes, on the channel, subscribe to my channel as always, and take it easy. And I'll see you later. Bye.